Hey, greetings everybody. Welcome, welcome. It is GleeCon, and I am back bringing you another episode of Lore of Warcraft. Well, lore and lore adjacent of Warcraft. Every other episode, in between playing the actual game or doing the strict canon lore, the novels, the things that are endorsed and written by the creators of Blizzard themselves, we take a side journey and we do, well, not forever on the show, but we started this around the time we started World of Warcraft. We started reading some of the lore adjacent stuff. Now this is content that might be kind of considered lore. Maybe it's like we read all the Dungeons and Dragons material. So this is written by a crew and it had the thumbs up of Blizzard, but it kind of says things that Blizzard has free reign at any point in time to scrap. So we did a huge project. We read all of the Dungeons and Dragons, and we finished that recently by finishing the Dark Factions book with a couple of adventures. But really, that was quite an epic journey. And we're going to start another epic journey in a little bit. But in order to take a break before I get my next big project underway, because those Dungeons and Dragons books were a big project, I thought we'd take another aside and touch on something that is might be interesting, it might be humorous, might be boring. We're going to find out together. And that is the World of Warcraft Official Strategy Guide. And there's actually an updated second edition strategy guide. So we're going to take a journey for a few episodes through two different books. We're not going to read them verbatim. They're very long. For instance, this one is 434 pages long. We're not going to read all 434. We're just going to kind of skim through and take a journey together where we explore. So stay a while and listen as we do that. And then we'll get right back into what we were doing on Classic last time, which was continuing to do Ashenvale with our feral druid. Actually, she's going to do Black Fathom Deeps next time. My other squad, really all of the people kind of need to do stockades too. So that's a thing. I might pause and do stockades with different people as well. Okay, so yeah, let's take a peek here. This is not something that you're going to get anymore. They don't really make strategy guides anymore. They stopped, in fact, after the second edition. I kind of think I might have had this growing up. I don't know. Or not growing up, but when this came out. It's from a scan site. This is where I get a lot of my stuff. And so they get right into some cool pictures. And we're going to focus on some of that as good as we can. They get a table of contents. It's kind of loading, probably because there's just so many. We're basically loading a massive PDF. But as you can see, I did go through this. It does work. We'll just kind of skip and see. Yeah, we might have to refresh. There you go. It's kind of loading in some. So we'll see. This picture up here, so it looks like it's a broken picture. So that's all right. It might happen from time to time. That's why we're gonna scan through. Okay. So after they do, this is a 15 chapter book, and the first thing they do, and this is what right off the bat, I think this is kind of funny. We have an introduction to online gaming. So that's how old this is. They feel that the reader is going to need to have online gaming explained to them. They kind of give an overview of the classes that you can pick, and they're like, well, you probably need to know the way people talk. So let's see how many of these have stuck around and how many of them are not really there anymore. Okay, so AC, that's a straight rip from Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe they talk about that, but you don't really think of armor class. Doesn't really make sense. So I would say that's kind of fallen by the wayside. An ad, yeah, that's definitely still used, when a mob is coming. AoE, and some of these things have gotten themselves in the parlance. I don't know if they started here with WoW or they were just made popularized by WoW, but obviously AoE, area of effect, AFK, yes. AFKAF, nobody uses that anymore because that would mean something different now. Man, I'm AFKAF right now. So, no, I have not ever seen that, so that's definitely not used. Aggro, sure. Aggro radius, that's a technical thing. I would say, I guess you talk about it, you think about it a lot all the time when you're trying to sort of thread the needle and not fight the mobs. You would think about the aggro radius. I just don't know that that's like a vocab term. I feel like those are just two words that go together. AGI for agility, sure. AH for the auction house, definitely. AI, yes, but that's talked about for all gaming. AKA, that's not even a gaming term. An alt, yes, that's still there. Your alts, your other AOE. There's AOE twice, so I don't know why they had to do that. AP is attack power, maybe. I feel like that's a little bit less of a thing now. But I would say you see that more as like ATT for attack. Um, AR is an attack rating. Nah, you don't. I don't really see that. I would say you see ATT for attack. Avatar, sure, but people don't really talk about that as like, I don't know. It's not quite the same. Bait, items used while fishing. Oh yeah, okay. Used as so both of these aren't really gaming terms. Yeah, the thing you use by fishing, or if someone is trying to lure something into a trap in PvP, well, that's just what bait is. BB for Booty Bay, yeah. BFD for Black Fathom Deeps, sure. Bind, yeah, they use that for different things. See, they talk about binding equipment or binding a Hearthstone. Bind camping, it says a bind point. That's more like they call that something else. I wouldn't call it bind camping. They just call it like griefing, camping. BOA, bind on acquire. No, that's BOP. It's bind on pickup now. BOE, bind on equip. Yeah, BRB, sure. That's just text speak. Blackrock Depths, Blackrock Spire. BRT for be right there. That's. I feel like that's like pager talk. I don't know. I don't see that much. A buff, yes. A bug, yeah. Camping, definitely. That's still on there. Um, a Care Bear, people that do not enjoy PvP. It's sometimes wrongly applied to role players or people that would rather be like auction house people rather than fighters. That maybe exists. I guess I'd kind of be a Care Bear because I don't really love PvP that much. Um, I mean, I do it from time to time, but sure. I guess I'm a Care Bear, guys. Cast, yes, a caster. CC for crowd control. Chain casting, okay. Cheese, that's just gaming in general. To cheese something clan, aka guild. All right. Wow, look at all these terms they feel like you got to know. And actually, I mean, so far, most of them, they do track. Some of them are dated. CR for corpse run. I don't really think that happens as much, but maybe. CR, XR, the crossroads. Maybe. I don't think it's as popular anymore because there's not as much camping going on around there. Creep. So that's like a mob. No, I don't. You don't ever. I never hear that. Creep jacking. So that's fighting someone in PvP when they're already fighting. Yeah, I've never heard that. Critters, sure. CSR is a customer service. I mean, maybe. I don't ever see that. CTD, I don't ever hear that as an acronym. Crashing. Direct damage as DD. No, I think you hear. I don't think that's as much of a thing. In Diablo, that's a concept right now, direct damage. But even that, there's no need to really have an acronym because you're really getting into the nuts and bolts. I think a lot of these maybe like people are talking about if you're texting about the real nuts and bolts, but most players don't do that or chatting about it. Debuffs, sure. Defense, dispel, a designated leader. I mean, who even says that? Just call him a leader. DMG for damage. D&D for do not disturb. I don't really see that very much. Dot, DPS, duping. Oh, you can't do that. In Diablo 1, you used to be able to do that all the time. I don't know. I've heard of that in gaming in general, but I don't see that a lot in WoW. DW for Duskwood. I just don't think Duskwood gets talked enough about. I call it Dusk if I'm abbreviating it. Emotes, sure. Um, an exploit. Oh, I missed a couple of the no. Yeah, combat pet, sure. Con, consider. Yeah, I never see that. Never ever. I never see that. Corpse camping, sure. An exploit, yes. Farming, yes. Free for all as a type of loot, yes. FH or FL or FM. Full health, full life, full mana. No, maybe full mana. I honestly don't see people see that because you don't ever need to talk about it. You can see everyone's bars if it would matter to you. Ganking, sure. Um, GG for good game, absolutely. Ghosting, um, I've never seen that. Like basically, if you're like skipping, kind of have like a skip lag. Flickers in and out of view and jumps between locations in relation to your character. Yeah, I don't know. To gimp, oh man, that's old. People don't really say that. Just make a weak character and call it a gimp. That is so. That's old school, like early 2000s vocabulary right there. That's not even gaming vocabulary. That's just like that's funny. To grief someone, sure, a griefer, grinder, grinding, GM as a game master, I guess. Talking about Blizzard employees, GS for gold shirt, okay. GTG, good to go. GUI, yeah, for your user interface. Guild, hate, aka aggro. That's a little bit old school. You might see it here and there. I have seen that, but it's been a while. HB for Hillsbrad Foothills. No, I never see that. Why would you? I don't know. HP for hit points. Sure. Hot. Yep. Hybrid. I guess, but that's just more used in the sense of what hybrid means. IC for in character. That must be like an RP server thing. I've never really done that. IF for Ironforge. Yes. IMO. IMHO. Um, sure. That's text speak. Incoming, INC, an instance, intellect, kiting, kill on sight. Maybe kill steal. Yes, but I don't know that people abbreviate it KS anymore. I don't see that really. A KSer, I don't know. Lag spike, leapfrog. Let's see. When you dash past other parties while they fight mobs in order to beat them, I mean that happens still, but I don't really see anyone call that leapfrogging. But sure, I could see where that comes from. Leech, probably maybe like that's basically like if you're getting a paid carry, um, you're basically leeching. Leet speak that people don't really. I mean, sure, that's still a thing for gaming and text and stuff in general, but people don't really say that. I don't think it's as common anymore. That's like again an early 2000s thing. Leveling, LFG for looking for group, LFM looking for more. Link, that's just tech. That's just general tech talk. Link death. Oh, that's like AFK. I don't ever hear it called link death. I think that kind of fell away with wireless streaming more and more. Um, I would call that more like DC death. LMAO. They put the A word in there. Come on. LOL. LOM is low on mana. Okay. Loot. LOS for line of sight. Lobby. Yeah, that's still around. Level. And I mean, again, feel free to get in the chats and correct me if I'm wrong on this. On some of these, I just might not see them. Long time no see. I don't ever see that. Lunchbox. Oh well, I get those all the time. I'm sure that when more people were just playing classic, that was more common. But chess don't really exist just like that anymore, so you just don't really hear that. But sure, I could see that being a clever thing. Your main master looter. Um, I guess I just don't do enough raid looting. That might still be a thing. Med or medding. Just basically like when you're sitting there, for instance, in a raid, and everyone's like eating, drinking, getting ready for a boss. I don't really hear that. Melee, mez, to mesmerize someone. No, I think typically they would defer to like say poly or hex or sap or whatever. ML for master looter. Yeah, I don't know. MMO, MOG, MORG, MMORPG. Sure. Massively, yeah. You don't really see these MMO and MMORPG. I'd say are the two that you see still. These are kind of like a mob, sure. Mud. Those are basically multiplayers. Oh, they're text MMORPGs. Yeah, nobody talks about that anymore. MT, that's still around. Need before greed. mean, whatever. You don't really have to. You just click need. Nerfing something. Ninja loot. Yeah, ninja looter, sure. NM for nevermind. Noob or newbie. NPC. Nuke something. A nuker. OMW. OOC. That would have to be a RP thing, so I don't see it. OOM, yes. Over nuke, I don't know. Own or pwn, yeah, that's still a thing. You don't see it as much, but it's still there. Paper doll. Oh, yeah, I guess when you open your character sheet, sure. PB AoE, point blank AoE. Oh, that would be like your arcane nova or whatever when you're a mage. I don't ever hear it called that though, but maybe I just don't. I just don't notice. Party PC a pet. PK is a player kill. I think you more see like HK for honor kill. I don't know. PKer maybe. I'm not a huge PvP guy. Power level. I don't ever hear it like abbreviated as PL, but you see power leveling. Pop for respawn. I don't ever see that. Profession, port, pote, power leveling. Proc. Yeah, that's sure. That's just a gaming term. PST. Which for my first probably like 5 years of gaming, I didn't realize that was an acronym for please send tell. I thought because it would meant you were giving someone a whisper, that it was literally them spelling out psst. I literally thought that's what it was for years. Puller, pulling, sure. PvE, PvP, PvM. Nah, I don't ever see that PvM because it means the same thing as PvE. Raid, random, sure. Res sickness, resistance. See, that's a problem right there. There's no degree, there's no abbreviation for resistance. We're spending a lot of time on this, but I also feel like this is kind of an interesting thing as like a flashback. We won't spend as much time on every single element of this. Unfortunately, it looks like with all these pages, we're going to have to have a little loading time with each, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We'll get there. I mean, we didn't really have as much last time. This is, I don't think it's really my internet. I don't really think I had as much trouble. See, look, then the next page is fine. Oh yeah, look, it's kind of. Now if we go back to that one, yeah, see some of these, oops. Yeah, I wonder if it lets us get it. Yeah, so if we go here, it's kind of letting us get in. There we go, yeah. This way, we'll do it this way instead of the 2-page way. All right, so respawn, rest, RF for Razorfen. You see more like this, RFD or RFK. You don't ever just see RF by itself. RFOL, root, round robin, type of looting. Yeah, I use that all the time in just regular life too. RP, RR for Red Ridge Mountains. You don't see that. SFK is more likely for Shadowfang Keep, not just SF. And Strat is usually what you use for Stratholme. So SM for Scarlet Monastery, yeah. Small pets, I don't ever hear them called small pets like that. Snare, sure. Socials, no, they're just called emotes. Soulbound spawns, your spec. Spell stacking. I don't think that happens. I don't. Maybe that's a thing. I don't really hear that. Spirit, SPI, spiking, STA for stamina. Stack, sure. Stat, stone for your Hearthstone, sure. STR, stun. STV for Signal from Veil, yeah. SW for Stormwind. TP for Talent Point? I don't hear that. Tank, Cap, sure. That's like Magic the Gathering related. Taunt, TB for Thunder Bluff. Tell, sure. Temple or ST, you just hear it as ST. I don't ever see it as Temple, but maybe. Threat, tune, yeah, I still say that from time to time, although I think that's kind of like an old person, kind of show your age if you call them a tune, maybe. Train, I don't know. Twink, yeah. Uber, yeah, that's used, but that's used for like anything. Upper Blackrock Spire, UC for Undercity, VC for Van Cleef. Why? Oh, sometimes they use it for Dead Mines, but no. Why would you ever have to abbreviate that? WC for Wailing, unless you're in the dungeon. WF for Westfall. I don't think you see that as much. You could just say like Westfall, Whisper, WTB, WTS. Want to trade? Maybe sure. XP, a Zerg. That's a StarCraft reference. No, maybe if you're doing PvP battlegrounds, you see that still. ZFK or Zulfarak. Um, I'll have to think about what I see. I see that abbreviation a lot, but I don't know if it's still Zulfarak and Zone. Sure. Okay, so that's a lot of things. A lot of them are still there. Some of it is archaic. Now it's kind of funny. All right, so let's keep going. So then they kind of walk you through the different parts. We'll look at the top. We'll just kind of glance through. We're not going to read every page here, and we're going to kind of base it more on time and just see what would some natural stopping points be, and pick up each time we go. Okay, so we have a comic. It says character names don't need to be too fancy. I'm really sorry, Zach Zimmenrax. I tried to warn you, but I couldn't type your name in time. Oh, look, it's a bear. Might also have worked. If you can't think of a good name, just start looking around your room. Your name is Chair. Yes, son of air conditioner and lord of lava lamp. I actually really like to do names sometimes where it's just an object. For some reason, it's just, yeah, or just like a simple word. I kind of like that. I do that from time to time. On the show, I do RPing, but most of the time, when in doubt, I try to find a clever pun as a name. All right, and then they give like, okay, there's also, they give you some tips. Don't, and I've seen you get banned. It says avoid well-known characters. Now, it says GMs will make you change the name if they catch you. Oh. So Gandalf, Legolas, Gimli, Dritz, Sephiroth. So I don't know why. I have heard you're not supposed to do real world people. Which I don't understand why they do that. Why they would make you leave. Like why they would make you quit that. Keep it simple. External name generators or using their name generator, sure. Religious figures, like yeah, you don't. That's why you don't see people walking around like named Jesus or whatever. They'll get you for that. Um, combine words with care. So moon, wind, far striker. Avoid foreign words or insults. So they're just basically saying don't try to be cute and make yourself a bad name. That will if you got caught and someone could just report you, you'd be tough. Or open a book. Yeah, do some research. Etiquette. So they're saying basically, here's some just now they're going to go out and let's see how much of the book they're going to spend just teaching you how to be nice when you play. Don't take other people's mobs. Try to work together when you can. Find a better hunting spot. Sure. Don't tell mages what to do. All right, Spooky, get some of your little friends around here and make me a portal to Stormwind. I'm a busy man. And then he says, grr. Then this guy ports out, and he's like in the desert. And I was just saying we should have lunch. Har, har, har. So, how do you distribute treasure? Basically, they're saying set the rules. Most of the time, the common etiquette, we know what it is in the game. What do you do about ninja looters? Just ignore them. They're saying, how do you deal with incompetent players? It's just saying, learn how to help someone. Yeah, so they're just basically saying communicate and teach them, unless they're outright rude. Spam invitations, probably going to say don't do it. Ask for help, request a buff for strangers. Sure, most of the time people will just buff you. Trains of mobs, jumping in, staying in a group, how to grab resources. Same thing, like don't ninja them from people. Back in town, where is everything? So here they're giving you a strategy guide because they're saying, okay, you can find the NPCs, but you can also ask. PvP, when to attack, giving you some strategy there. Ganking, corpse camping. All right, 10 general things to know. Patience is key. That's true. If this game, I would say that's 100% true, and that's 99% of my deaths are due to a lack of patience. Learn what you can and can't handle. Find a class that suits your mentality, and then they give you some hints. So they're like, let's just read Druid. Well, shape-shifting style flexibility can sub as tank, rogue, or caster. damage. It says damage at all ranged or backup healing. Okay. So yeah, they're just kind of giving you what do you think you want to do. Choose a race that looks and feels right. And it says you can check out. Oh, they even tell you right here that if you do flirt and silly, you'll get some new combos. And it's funny how many people don't know that. Like I like to mess around with my wife and do those things. There's also a few other funny little ones, like train that I like. Invest in friends and skilled allies. The game is more fun if you have a dedicated friend. Like I definitely have a lot of fun when I play with friends. Try everything at least once. Totally agree. I haven't tried every. I still to this day have not tried every spec in the game. Like I have never played. I've never made a Windwalker monk. Yeah. So it's rare. There are very few specs I haven't tried. I don't think I've ever gone full bear druid before. There's just things that I want to try. Probably enhancement shaman. There's just a few little specs I haven't tried. Identify goals and suitable targets. Sure. Be at the right place at the right time. That's a big help in everything in life. Use all your resources. Sure. And even if you're selling it, and take breaks. They had to tell you that back then because we're coming off of the EverQuest years when people were getting banged in a big spot. 20 things I wish someone had told me. You can't put a space in your name. Arrow keys and WASD are how you move. Shift B, left quick, opens all your bags. That's true. T targets the closest enemy, and tab toggles between them. Yeah, I even have like shortcut on my mouse to tab. One of my mouse clicks is a tab click. If they're red, it's aggro. So this is the basics. Stop reading and go play. The do's and don'ts will just glance through a few. Do play to have fun. Do ask questions if you become frustrated, lost, or confused, or look it up. Do understand when others don't type perfectly with 16 murlocs on their backs. Yeah. Don't let stats or trends keep you from making the character you want. Don't call Tauren cows all beef patties, burgers, or big game. I would add a list to that for Worgen. Oh my gosh, my main Worgen. I just get called. It's like I feel like there's all this Worgen racism out there. Don't leave your group hanging. If you say 5 minutes, try to mean 5 minutes. Yeah, it's like that episode I did when we ended up having to solo the end of Shadowfang Keep because the guy's like, I gotta take my son to do soccer. I'll be back in 30 minutes. That did not happen. Okay, do keep all your clothes on. Don't take off all your clothes. You'd still have undies on. People do it all the time. All right, so then they show you the different levels of equipment. I didn't even know they had artifacts back then that were gold. Or, sure, there are legendaries and then everything else. I don't think we even have... I don't know that any of my characters even have purple yet. I don't think we have past blue for anybody. I don't know. Sometimes I think the party only likes me because I make potions. Oh, that's not true. Do you even know my name? Sure we do, don't we, guys? It's Potionini. Frank Potion Guy. Am I close? That is really good humor there. What equipment can I expect to see as I level? They give you some things like that. NPC allies and enemies. See, they're talking more about this con. Consider. If PCs decide whether or not something is within their range to kill, or items, so consider this quest. Yeah, I guess you don't really have to do that. The game does a lot of that work for you. Like if it's more than a few levels above you, you can't really do it. Aggroing neutrals with AoE, aggro distance, reputation. Oh, okay. Basically, they're giving you hated and hostile are the same kill on sight. Unfriendly, just can't interact with them. Neutral is just normal, and the rest you start to get discounts. Honored, you get that discount. Revered, it's a special reputation for special heroes. Exalted, and I think they all have extra discount levels. Not everyone comes alone. Yeah, mobs will have little allies sometimes. This right here means it's an elite mob. I can't believe he's wearing Murloc skins with those green iron bracers. I know. Who does he think he is? That's funny. So maybe they're just saying like, watch what kind of armor you wear. Party dynamics, so they're explaining to you what you would need, when you would probably want a party, how a duo can work, and that's true. That's probably the best combo in the game. It's just a dedicated duo of people. You can get through most content in the game, except for dungeons. Different style of loot. What's a raiding party? Uh-oh, we've reached the point where the pages are um, not caught up to us again. Okay, yikes. So I guess what we should know here is I need to get this up and get this loading and just leave it up. I think that's probably a good thing. I'll just leave this page. Look at that. So we got some things, because some pages, for whatever reason, it appears that they're going to load lower than others, but that's okay. I mean, obviously, you guys are getting kind of the gist. They give us types of quests, quest modifiers. I need you to get me that book, but it's right there. That is how my wife feels like so often whenever they give you a fetch quest and it's like go across the camp. Quests are when people to tell you to do things they're too lazy to do themselves. And she's like, "What were you doing that's so important that you can't walk over and talk to that guy 5 feet away yourself?" Um, that's something that irks her for sure. They're talking about basically fighting and completing quests. It's nice. Clustering quests is nice, and that's one of the best parts about retail, the fact that they do that so much more. Um, Quest sharing, abandoning quests, death and rebirth, different ways to die. When returning to your body, make sure that all the spiders are gone. Hey, I see you back there. There are like 30 of you guys. I told you this wasn't going to work. Just be cool. That's true. Yeah, because then you'll just have to keep chain dying over and over again. How to res, warlocks and soulstones. That's a good thing to use. Spirit healer, death in an instance is a pain in the butt nowadays. Migrating players. That's basically, I think, when you switch to a new server. Or let's see. For those, I think this is more saying people that are making the transition from Warcraft 3 or Warcraft 2 or whatever over to World of Warcraft. So they're giving you tips like, well, what is the same? What's different? What's the same? The story, the geography, potions, scrolls, monsters, races, magic, melee, quests. Um, and what about if you're coming from a different MMORPG, auction house, guilds, class, PvE, grouping? Okay, so they're saying those are concepts they either borrowed from themselves or they borrowed from the outside world. So don't blame Blizzard for the auction house shenanigans. That was a poison that already existed out there in society. Okay, so then they teach you how to create macros. They give you. Let's look and see if there's any of these. I don't know. These are commands. Assist. I didn't even know that was a thing. You assist the target. What does that mean? You do what they do? I don't know. Do you start fighting whatever they fight? Weird. I know you can follow right here. Yeah, and then you just auto follow them. Cast. Oh, so if you wanted to full out type cast mana burn rank 1. EM takes a bow while looking quite embarrassed. Oh, okay, we'll have to try this next time. If you type me or EM, it creates. Oh, you create your own emote. I've seen people doing that. So you make your own emote. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have so much fun with that tonight. When I'm playing with my wife, she's going to be like, what? How do you do that? So if you do /EM, then you make your own emote. Love it. I can't believe I didn't know that. Exit. Let's see. Random. Oh, that just is like RNG. I think you can just literally do RNG too. I cannot believe that thing right there. I don't know why they're relisting the same title. PvP puts you in PvP mode. Played. Yeah, that shows the amount of time that you played. And who will list people that are online. Okay, you slash with your number. Yeah. Announcements. Oh, I didn't know. Toggles the join and leave announcements on a channel. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Ban. If I guess if you're banning someone from the channel, you probably have to have like moderator on a channel. Let's see if there's anybody changes a moderator status. Mute someone. Oh, you can change a password. Um, Unban, unmoderator, yell. GD emote. Oh, G demote someone. I see. That's different. Yeah, like O and G. Those are different channels in your guild. Disband your guild. G quit. Yeah. Message of the day. So those are just guild things, and then they give you some macro ideas. Here's the buttons on the keyboard. Um, Different expression emotes. Oh my gosh. Basic emotes. So they give you a ton of different ones. Look, like, okay, agree, amaze, angry, apologize, applaud, applause. Same thing. Beckon, beg, belch, bite, bleed, blink, blood, blow, blush, boggle. You boggle at the situation. Bonk, board, bounce, bow, BRB, burp, by, cackle, calm, cat, catty, cheer, chew, chicken. Oh, it says it's not emote, it's not animated. See, some of them are like animated, and they say whether they are or not. Chuckle, clap, cold, comfort, commend, confuse, congrats, congratulate, cough, cower, crack, cringe, cry, crack your knuckles is what crack is. Cuddle, curious, curtsy. Oh, you can actually do a curtsy. I'm gonna try that. Dance, disappointed. Dote. That does the same thing as bonk. Drool, duck, eat, eye, farewell, fart, fear, feast, fidget, flap, flex, food. You're hungry. Frown, gasp, gaze, giggle, glad, glare, gloat, goodbye, greet, greetings, grin, groom, grovel, guffaw, hail, happy, hello, hi, hug, hungry, impatient, insult, introduce, JK, kiss, kneel, knuckles, that's cracking the knuckles again, lavish, lay, lay down, lick, lie down, listen, mad, massage, you need a massage, moan, so you moan suggestively, mock, moon, you drop your trousers and moon, everyone. Oh my gosh. More no nod, nose pick. With a finger deep in one nostril, you pass the time. Panic, peer, peon, you grovel on the ground, wallowing in subservience. And they actually have that one animated. I'm going to have to check that out. Peon. Pest, pick, plead, paint, poke, ponder, pounce, praise, pray, purr. Puzzled. You are puzzled. What's going on here? And it's animated. Question, raise, ready, rear, roar, rude. You make a rude gesture. I've seen that one before. Salute, scratch, sexy. Shake, you shake your rear. Shimmy, shining, shindig. You raise a drink in the air before chugging it down. Cheers. Shiver, shoo, shrug, sly, sigh. Sit, slap, sleep, smell, smirk, snarl, snicker, sniff, snub, sob, soothe, sorry, spit, spoon, stare, spoon. You need to be cuddled. Stare, sting, strong, surprise, surrender, talk, talk X, talk Q, top, taunt, tease, thanks, thirsty, threat, tickle. Threaten, tired, thank you, veto, victory. You bask in the glory of victory. Volunteer, you raise your hand, but it's not actually animated. Wave, weep, welcome, whine, whistle, wicked, wickedly, work, wrath, yawn, yay. So that's cool. And then there's some voice emotes here that they give too. But that's neat. I'm sure that list is available actually out there. I'm 100% sure. And some people probably just have it up, but it's good to know. If anything, I took away some of those. Most of those I knew. A couple of those are funny. But man, I love that you can make your own. That's pretty cool. All right, here they give you learning your place in the world. This is probably a good stopping point, if I'm going to be honest, because we've been going for a little while. I think we're starting a new chapter, and we won't spend as much time on all of these as we did. I have a feeling there will be some stretches of this book because we're only 37 pages in, but I have a feeling there will be big stretches of this book where we're like just really skimming. But this is it. So for our side journeys, we're going to do this, and then we're for the second book, when we look at the second edition, we're really going to be looking at it with keeping an eye on what has changed in the time that they made the two books. Look how small these islands are. There's no Northrend to be seen up here, even though we know it exists. And I think these get moved down here. I guess I do know that there's that. We got some of these, obviously Pandaria's gone. So this is interesting. This is the classic map. All right, we have another episode in the pipe, 5x5. I thank you everybody so much for watching and for listening. And I will see you all next time on Lore of Warcraft and lore like ish of Warcraft.